Person Lynette Sam, Secretary Jessica Castillo, Ramona Darrow, James Thomas, and Juliana Gravel. The election board is comprised of 7 members that serve a 2-year term. Responsibilities include conducting tribal elections, deciding on disputes that may arise in such elections, staffing polling locations, and certifying voter and candidates lists. Pursuant to Article 2, Section 1 of the Constitution, RSIC members who are 18 years of age or older on election day have the right to vote. Please check the list of eligible voters to verify that you are on the certified voters list. The RSIC federally recognized as a government in 1934 under the Indian Reorganization Act. Currently, there are over 1,300 members from 3 tribes, the Paiute, Shoshone, Washoe tribes that comprise the Reno-Sparks Indian Colony. As a government, the colony governs its lands by creating and enforcing rules and regulations. The colony provides many services to its members such as education, health, public works, tribal courts, housing, language, and senior center, to name a few. As a governing body, the Tribal Council represents the colony throughout Indian Nation and also represents the colony among other officials alike. For example, the county, state, and federal representatives. On Saturday, November 4th, you will have the opportunity to vote for up to 4 tribal council seats and 1 tribal chairman seat. The candidates before you have declared for candidacy and meet all the requirements set forth in Article 3, Section 2 of the Constitution and bylaws of the Reno-Sparks Indian Colony. On October 25th, the election board will finalize the candidates list. Last day for voters to request an absentee ballot is Saturday, October 21, and automated election services will be mailed to the absentee ballot requestee. Absentee must be received on or before the election day. The Reno-Sparks Indian Colony tribal elections will be held in Reno and Hungry Valley on November 4th from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Please contact any of the election board if you have any questions or need special assistance at the polling locations. Tonight, the candidates are provided an opportunity to address tribal members at this candidates night, and tribal members will be able to meet the candidates after the candidates have spoken. The rules for the evening are as follows. Silent cell phones. Tribal chairman candidates have 10 minutes to speak. Tribal council candidates have 5 minutes to speak. 1-minute warning will be given to the candidates before time expires. No foul language, no slandering. Hold questions until all candidates have spoken. The order of presentation will be determined by drawing candidates' name from a jar. Let's begin with the first candidate. For the chairman, speech is Daryl Doug Gardapi.
Can you hear me? Good evening, everybody. My name is Daryl Doug Gardapi. I have submitted my name for the office of the tribal chairman. As many of you know, I have served 13 years on the tribal council and 8 of those as vice chairman under Chairman Melendez. Throughout my 8 years as vice chair and as a council member, I had the honor of working with many politicians and organizations at the local, state, and federal level. We created valuable allies who still recognize our tribe as a powerful sovereign entity. As chairman, I will continue fostering and building these important bonds as well, maintaining positive government-to-government relationships ensures that we'll be included and consulted in outside projects and developments that will affect our tribe in the near future and beyond. It is always important to have these relationships so we will get full support when we move forward on economic development projects. As building is consistently progressing in Reno and as well as Hungry Valley. The tribe needs to make sure we make sound and sustainable decisions that will benefit the future generations. It is imperative for RSIC to be able to stay one of the most progressive tribes in Nevada, have stability and leadership, vision to plan long term, and to foresee the opportunities to prosper. I was a part of RSIC economic development projects such as Mercedes-Benz dealership property, CarMax, Walmart, building of the Reno-Sparks Tribal Health Center, Restitution Center, and finally the Three Nations Cannabis Ventures. Community safety is a priority for me. I will work with the Tribal Council, law enforcement, and the judicial system to see how we can fairly and legally administer our tribal laws to provide a safe environment for everyone on our lands. Getting feedback from the members to make sure all get due process and are treated fairly. This also includes better communication and protocols with social services, access for mental health, a substance abuse prevention coalition, and expanded educational opportunities. In my 25 years of service to the Reno-Sparks Indian Colony, our utilities department has upgraded, developed new facilities and delivery systems for our communities. We need to continue to assess and modernize our tribal services and infrastructure to meet the needs of our communities and plan accordingly for future growth. This will require strategic planning and cooperation with the council to benefit the tribe effectively. Our people are a vast resource, and I would like to also entertain the ideas and input from the membership regarding economic development exploration. Many of our people work off the colony in similar roles and capacities as some of our departments. These members have valuable knowledge, experience, and expertise. If they are willing to share with the tribe, let's utilize them. Our tribe is growing and at an accelerated pace. You can see it in the monthly enrollment numbers and the general population. I want to take an active role in building the solutions to benefit our tribe for our youth, adults, our elderly, to give them assurances their need will be met. In my years of involvement with the tribe, my focus has always been with the tribal membership. The intent of my administration will be to remain strong, financially successful, and a prosperous RSIC. I would like to acknowledge my opponents and tribal council candidates and thank them for stepping up to run for office. Being voted in to serve the people is a great honor that I take seriously and work hard at. I would be fair, a voice of stability, and work with tribal council to make the best decisions for the RSIC membership and organization. It is important that the younger generations start to learn leadership as the modern world is shifting. I have always encouraged our younger members to get involved in our tribe's political process. The future of our tribe depends on our people stepping up and becoming involved in the work of how our tribal and other governments function. We must have continuity for our people to prosper. Thank you for coming out tonight, and I hope you select the most qualified candidate in this election. I would appreciate your vote for tribal chairman on November 4th. Thank you.
Guess it's up to us now to sanitize. Thanks, Mike. Good evening, everybody. I would like to express my gratitude to each and every one of you. You are here on your own time because you care about our people, and I want to assure you that I care about you too. Elected in 2013, I served consecutively for the past 10 years as your Tribal Council Secretary and your current Tribal Council Treasurer. My dedication competency, courage, and compassion has not wavered and has empowered me to run for the Reno-Sparks Indian Colony's tribal chairperson seat. And I mentioned chairperson because we keep saying chairman, but there are females running, so I just want to acknowledge that. We must be committed to our mission to provide the best opportunities, enhance and improve our people's lives by focusing and providing the best resources and programs available. We must work together throughout our organization with mutual respect and cooperation, reforming broken systems in the fields of healthcare, housing, education, police, and senior care, just to name a few. We must be well-versed in the day-to-day operations and ready to go the extra mile no matter what the challenge is. Face the good and the ugly for real-time solutions and have the courage to make hard decisions even when not popular. As a leader, we must have the courage to take the hard right over the easy wrong, knowing what the right thing to do is and to be brave enough to do it. Throughout my leadership and throughout this campaign, my motivation to serve our community and our organization with integrity, compassion, and empathy comes from my experience of leaders past and present. A lot of them sitting behind me today and a lot that are not here with us now. My ability to listen, learn, teach, and mentor and build influence in the people around me and the people that we serve. The ability to lead compassionately, meet our people at their level, and find a solution to their struggles without judgment. During the COVID-19 pandemic, I served as a tribal council liaison officer. During this time, we lost a lot of people, including my own grandmother, to this virus. I stepped out of my current position to assist with the implementation and a plan of action to mitigate the exposure and spread of the virus. I work daily operations to review, correspond, and implement resources to community members, leadership, and the incident command. Aided in the disbursement of food, PPE, and medical supplies as requested and as identified by the homes using a color code system. Supervised and assigned staff to the highest priority areas, continued communication with neighboring tribes, state, and local officials. I have proven my ability to manage through a crisis, including a pandemic. I currently serve as the CEA Treasurer for the Three Nations Cannabis, the Tribal Council Liaison to the Senior Advisory, Education Advisory, and the Head Start Policy Council. I previously served as a liaison to the Law and Order, Safety, Powwow, and Tribe Basin Culture Committees, emphasizing on ways to support long-term goals and positive relationships between numerous departments and sustainability of our programs. I am currently serving as the alternate delegate for the National Congress of American Indians and have served in this capacity throughout the years. The knowledge I have gained has allowed me to speak on behalf of our people to ensure we have meaningful and timely tribal consultations between our tribes and federal agencies on key issues and proposed actions that may affect us. I have learned that if you are not at the table, then you are on the menu. As the Tribal Council Treasurer, I have the fiscal responsibility to review financial reports, budgets, and budget modifications, work closely with our Fund Development Coordinator to seek customized proposals to secure additional grant funding for education, housing, youth development, and community health projects, and more. I work closely with our Chief Financial Officer on monthly, quarterly, and annual financial reports, portfolios, and audits. I am proud to have been able to be a part of RSIC's secretarial election, supporting the combination of 3 tribes. More individuals have the ability to be enrolled, and adding to the improvement and sustainability of our numbers and lessening our identity crisis. I continue to advocate for our off-colony members to have the same access to resources that on-colony members have access to. We continue to count all enrolled members when seeking federal funding, and all should benefit. The Reno-Sparks Indian Colony implemented a youth mentor position to build a leadership program that mirrors the governing body. As the youth mentor, I work tirelessly to enhance a leadership program with buy-in not only from our youth, but from our total community. RSIC Youth joined the United National Tribal Youth Network in 2018 and began promoting a personal development, citizenship, and leadership skills. And if you don't know this, we consist of the Western region that includes Arizona, Nevada, and Utah. Our region has 65 affiliated youth councils. Unity is the largest chapter in Northern Nevada. These young leaders, which I see many in here today, lead in the many movements of this time, including missing murdered Indigenous persons, Every Child Matters, suicide awareness and prevention, teen community emergency response, peaceful protest against lithium Nevada and the protection of natural resources and the protection of Thacker Pass. This group established for the first teen food pantry to combat food insecurities in Reno and Hungry Valley, delivering fresh fruit and vegetables and shelf-stable items. Every Thursday, this program delivers food pantry bags for the Pathways to Good Health and the program to help combat diabetes and to serve our diabetic individuals within our community. All of their hard work and dedication at times may go unnoticed, but believe me, they are improving the lives of our elderly and our young. They are living and choosing to be culturally competent, be good role models, and furthering their education so they could come back and take care of us. And they have the desire to make a positive difference. That's what leadership does. Leadership builds each and every one of you up so you could come up here and speak like me and sit back here and be at the table. And that I applaud you for, especially the youth. They work with multiple agencies and they build relationships with the individuals that hold craft fairs, that sell items, the senior center delivering food. This is what leadership does, and I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of being a part of that. At this time, we need leadership who will put our people before politics and knowledge. That our work is not complete. We're far from being complete. We must be ready to navigate and evolve the ever-changing landscapes. We as Native people must be ready to show up, stand up, and face adversity. I know the chairman is not here tonight. I did not see him. But I acknowledged him last night, and I'll acknowledge him again. I've served under him proudly and respected all of the ideas and ideations he had to give forth to us. He is a legacy of excellence, and it will be hard to stand up to that. But I'm willing to go that mile and have that challenge. I will continue to work with great people who have great visions and great knowledge. I would like to thank all candidates who displayed courage and showed up tonight, because courage is the first virtue of leadership and makes all other virtues of leadership possible. I am asking you on November 4th, 2023, to mobilize and exercise your inherent right to vote, and I am asking for your trust and your support. Elect Robin Eagle for chair. Thank you.
I'd like to thank everyone for showing up tonight. You're a good turnout, and you guys have a major responsibility, and that's electing the tribal council members and the tribal chairman. It's not going to be easy. All the jobs, the chairpersons, chairmen, council members, they have made a commitment to work for this tribe. Matter of fact, they take an oath that they will work in the best interest of the tribes and its membership. Over in the back there's a blue paper with all my credentials on it, years I worked, where I worked. Like I said, I worked for the tribe for 3 years, or 3 times. And I got fired each time, so I must have been doing something right. It's not an easy job to work for a tribe. You have to have a commitment that overshadows yourself, your family, the whole 9 yards. But we have an opportunity now, as I stated earlier. Mr. Melendez had done a tremendous job for the 30 years he was here. The Melendez era is ending. Now a new era is starting. But where do we start? What do we do? Change is coming. It has to come. You know, one of the things that we have to change is the public comment. How can you expect a fair public comment when you have 5 minutes to talk? They tell you what you can talk, tell you who you can talk, and then if you're beyond your 5-minute limit, they threaten you with jail. Call the tribal police. That's not free speech at all. That is the first thing that has to be changed. Education. We need to be able to not only send our kids to school, which we are, and I understand there is quite a bit of our kids going to school, but we also need them to come back and work for the tribe once they graduate. We have to provide jobs for them. How do we do that? We have to seek additional revenue sources. One of the sources that I mentioned last night is that there is a program out there, Section 17, I believe it is, where tribes have the ability to bid on government contracts. The government has, by law, set aside 10% of any jobs that the government has and set aside for minority enterprises to bid on. We are considered a minority enterprise. An example of this, as I stated, is that maintenance service agreement at Naval Air Station in Fallon was owned by a corporation out of Alaska, a native corporation that they formed once they got their pipeline money, and then they turned around and did the Section 17. And they were able to bid on just about every contract that they were able to do. Susanville has the same thing going on. They have Section 17 program. They are in turn doing the same thing. They've got an office back in Virginia, and all they do is seek contracts and go. And then they can become a general contractor, and then they sub-bid everything out. And then they get the profit margin on top of that. We cannot rely on the federal government forever. So we have to establish our own business. We have to be able to have businesses that are tribally owned, tribally managed, tribally staffed, and profits for the tribal government. With those profits, you can do an awful lot of things. Housing is a major issue. You can turn around and say, for $1 million, you can build 3 homes, but you have to have some place to build them. You know, the price of construction has gone up big time here in northern Nevada. And I understand that they got an okay and approval on 22 modulars. It has to be modulars because stick-built is just too darn expensive. Pyramid Lake went through this a few years ago. They built 10 modulars because once they put out for bid, there was no bids on that project. So they had to go to the modulars. And then there are Indian companies. Hoopa, I believe, has a modular business. So if you buy from them, you are also contributing to their economy. And of course, the savings generated by the purchase of the modulars. We have to be able to provide jobs, provide homes. We have to be able to look at new things for the future. You cannot turn around and, like it's been 20 years, I think it was, since this last go-around in homes went, and I think they were occupied in 2010. The last subdivision that went through was an add-on to the current subdivision where they are located now. They're supposed to be building another subdivision that's supposed to accommodate the 22 homes. And with leaving 3 vacant lots for those individuals who can afford to buy their home or build a home. There is a 184 program that gives low interest loans to Native people on reservations or even off reservations. All you have to do is, if it's going to be on the reservation, you have to have an ordinance that allows 184 to operate. We have that ordinance drafted. We do have an ordinance in it, but amended ordinance has been drafted and it's been sitting where? That was done several years ago. We have an untapped source for the colony. We have a lot of colony members that are living off the colony but can't sit on committees. They can't use the clinic because they may be living on another reservation with their spouse. And so they should be able to utilize those things. Their numbers are used to get that dollars. Their monies is used to get that funding. Because when they submit the numbers, they submit the entire tribal membership population. And those people who live off the colony. We have to start planning. We have to make a run for the money. The clinic just went under a compact, not a contract, a compact where you're supposed to get all your dollars that is administered through the federal government that they grant you. Well, that was a good project 20 years ago because you got every dollar that was available to you from the word go, and there was a lot of money. A lot of those guys who did compact got hundreds of thousands of dollars extra, if not more. To recap, we need to provide jobs for our kids who go on to get that secondary education. How do we do that? We develop businesses that is tribally owned, at which point it not only improves their economy, it improves the tribe's economy. We have to be able to protect our people. There's a lot of things going on. There's a rumor going on that they're going to move everybody off the colony down there and move them up here. I just heard that today, I think it was, or yesterday. That's not going to happen under my watch. We have to be able to control our own destiny. We can't be dependent on contracts. We can't be dependent on other individuals to give us money. We can't afford to because it's just taking everything away. It's taking away your control. And you do not want to be out of control. We have a responsibility to meet the needs of our people. We can do it if we work for it. And it's not going to be easy. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name's Toby Stump. I'm half Paiute, Chippewa Cree. My Paiute bloodline comes from Fort Bidwell and Fallon. So, out of the 800 eligible voters, I want to thank all 66 of you for coming out. And that, we have to not only, promote, our good words, but, also promote voting, because right now, we're going to have a big vote, big decision, and it's going to come down to, votes, and that, the usual 300 or 400, is not going to cut it. So, we're going to need you, need your help also, to promote, this vote, promote voting, promote, people that haven't, to push them to vote this time. It's going to be very important. But I'd like to, start by, I have to stick with my notes tonight because I went off the other night. But, stick with my notes, and, I want to move on to, my experience on tribal council. As a person of prayer, a person of the people, I feel I didn't really get things done to a certain point, and that I feel that we could have done a little better. I think we could have pushed a little harder and getting stuff done versus the usual. I feel we were on call, tribal council, and that we would only show up to meetings that were we were called to, meetings that we were that came up, at a drop of a hat, and I myself, ethical person, I couldn't leave my job to go to some of these meetings throughout the day because my job needed me, and that I felt bad because I couldn't be there on some of these meetings because I had to work in a department that is also short-staffed, and we've been short-staffed, for a while, and I want to promote, tribal council. You need to be a little more than on call. It needs to be part-time, full-time. Something more than just hey, show up, to these meetings, next week, next month, and that. So we can get things done, because for a long time we've been talking, and as you see, there's not a whole lot of stuff done. There's not a whole lot of things that we talked about last month, last year, last decade that is not done yet, and we need to take a look at, at our entities. I tell people that we need to almost stop what we're doing and revitalize or reinvent the wheel if we have to, because our foundation, is not there. Because we keep going forward, but we're going backwards also. We're going forward and we're missing steps. We're going forward and now we have to do something else to catch up. Or we can go so far and then we got to stop. A lot of the, main concerns, with our administration, is, 1 minute. So, so my big list, I'd like to promote, all of our letters. They're online. They were handed out in the newsletters, in your letter boxes, maybe still. And take a look at those. Read those. There's a lot of information on those. We need to, come together and do something. Come together and promote something. Come together and look to the future, because right now all we've done is a lot of talking. And that, if re-elected, I want to push one more time, to get things done, because, like I've said in Reno, the moms, dads, grandma and grandpas, sometimes our houses are getting filled with their own kids, our own grandkids, because there's no housing. There's no This was approved and written by Toby Stump. Vote for Toby Stump.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, everyone. Good to see everyone here. Hope everybody made it here safely. My name is Nida Harjo. I have lived here on the Reno-Sparks Indian Colony for many years. My mother is Margaret Harjo. My grandfather is William Grandpa Coffey, both whom had great part of the foster grandparent program, as well as the Good News Club, which is a child evangelism fellowship program. Those that have known them, I hope it would be reminded how they have touched your lives and how others possibly have touched yours also. I would like to thank you for giving me the opportunity to serve as your tribal council member these past 4 years. I have dedicated myself fully as I have retired from 25 years serving the Reno-Sparks Indian Colony communities as a police officer and sergeant. Without you, I would have never had known the existent details that go into the decisions the council makes regarding our future. There have been many times in both open and discussion meetings that I have felt the best interests of the Reno-Sparks Indian Colony was not brought forth nor represented. I had stood alone on these decisions, which is fine. Sometimes you need to stand up and alone for what you believe in and what you represent. Some of those decisions were hard for me to listen to, as I myself was standing alone questioning to myself, why? Why were there not others on council seeing what I saw? Seeing the needs of our own community that could have benefited. For example, the use of the COVID monies that were made available to us. I brought forth in discussion the need of wood stoves to be provided to all homes, especially in Hungry Valley where we know how frequent the power goes out. The homes could have been heated. And there were others who suggested they could have cooked a pot of beans and some coffee, which I did agree. Ceiling fans, those two could have been installed in all the homes. The COVID homes that were built and made available, those had ceiling fans in each room. That is how each and every home should be equipped with. Instead, where did a lot of those monies go? 3 refrigerated trucks that are not being utilized properly, if being utilized at all. These refrigerated trucks should have been properly used, providing the necessary food items for both Reno and Hungry Valley communities. That brings me to the separation of Reno and Hungry Valley. Both communities should not be separated, one being more than the other. Both communities should be provided for and taken care of equally. I still have yet to see the Hungry Valley community to have their own senior building for their use as the Reno community has. It makes no sense to me why those that live in Hungry Valley have to wait for their food delivery an hour, if not longer. They should have a senior building to enjoy, to gather, to meet, to eat, and to take pride in. We can never be united if we continue to be divided. I would like to see and be a part of a strong, reliable, caring council that makes the right decisions to protect our future. Not rush into a last-minute decision that is made upon at the request of directors before or during a meeting. A strong, reliable, caring council should and needs to be given time to review and discuss issues brought forth. A fast decision can be a bad decision. The community needs to be included and to hear what is being brought forth. That is why it is so important for the community to attend these general and economic development meetings. I really want to change for the better for both Hungry Valley and Reno communities. I want to see it happen, no matter how long a process. I want to see our future be protected, and progress forward. Over here in the back here on the counter, I have placed a copy of my speech and attached also other concerns that were brought up. Some of those are the need for the Reno-Sparks and County vehicle maintenance fleet to be expanded because the mechanics there that work there have very limited space. For all the vehicles we have, they're only working off of one car lift. And also the community meetings that we're supposed to be having every month, that's not happening, has not happened. I only attend once, one of those, and for the public comment, I would like to see that too be extended to a few more minutes, and also a response in the newsletter to follow. And also, thank you and blessings to you all. Thank you again.
Good evening. My name is Veronica Imus. Most of you know me as Puka. I'm submitting my name for tribal council because I would like to be part of the change. This year, the voting is going to change a lot drastically, with the, starting with the tribal chairman, and I'd like to be a part of that. I grew up on the colony at Reservation Road and later moved to Hungry Valley, where I currently reside for the last 20 years. I graduated from Reed High School and obtained my certificate in medical assisting from Nevada Career Academy. I also have a certificate in dialysis technician and basic EMT from Truckee Meadows. I have worked in the healthcare field for over 25 years. I have been employed for 18 years at the Reno-Sparks Tribal Health Center, and my current position is a radiology tech, medical assistant / scheduler. I would like to see improvements in all departments. My main focus is education, housing, and economic development. It takes us all to create a healthy, flourishing community. Education. Education leads to better jobs and improves your overall well-being, and that starts when our children are very young. Hungry Valley needs to have an all-day head start, just like Reno. Head Start should also provide an early Head Start program for the younger kids, so our children will be ready to excel when they start elementary school. Also, education should give gift cards for school supplies to all tribal members, not just members that attend Washoe County schools. Lastly, education needs to focus on high school students and help them prepare for college or trade school. When our students are seniors, they should be working towards their goals. Also, it broadens their minds so they will know what they want to be after they pursue graduation. Education needs to help our students. There's two alternatives instead of college, such as trade schools or military. Not everybody is fit for college. And housing. Housing should be available to all tribal members. Even though we got this big grant for housing, it's structured for HUD guidelines, and a lot of people won't meet those HUD guidelines. We have a lot of families out there that are over income, single people, seniors who will never qualify for housing. We need to do better. We also need to build more lots so people can bring in their own modulars or build their own homes. Or the tribe can build an apartment complex by Smoke Shop 6. Also, for economic development, with the rising economy, we could build gas stations, stores, or restaurants. With prices being high, we can give tribal members discounts for the gas. This would create more jobs for our people and bring in additional revenue. And for Hungry Valley, we need to see more law enforcement visible 24/7. And last but not least, in Hungry Valley, we need Wi-Fi. Our IT department is one of the highest paid divisions in the colony, and yet our Wi-Fi never working. So we need to do better with our Wi-Fi. So in closing, I'd like you to vote for me on November 4th. Thank you.
Hello. I thought it was number 5, but I guess I'm up next. So good evening, everybody. I would just like to thank you all for coming out, members, community, residents. I see a lot of residents here, so I'd just like to say thank you all for coming out. First off, I'd just like to let you know, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Suzanne Thomas, and I am running for a position on the Tribal Council. I am the daughter of Richard and Lolita Thomas. I have 3 children, April, Chase, and Blair, and 3 beautiful granddaughters, Olivia, Miyakota, and SJ. And I have 1 brother, Richard Thomas Jr. I have built a career for myself in the human resources profession, working for the Reno-Sparks Indian Colony, and for the past 18 months, I have worked for the Fallon Paiute Shoshone Tribe, and I am currently the HR Director of the Fallon Tribal Development Corporation, who oversees both of the Fox Peak convenience stores as well as the Fox Peak Cinema. Along with that, I serve on the following boards, committees, and commissions. RSIC Executive Health Board, Vice Chair for the RSIC Enrollment Committee, RSIC Veterans Committee, and the Economic Development Steering Committee. The 2023 Nevada Minority Health and Equality Coalition out of Las Vegas, Nevada, and the TURC, which is a Tribal Emergency Response Commission. Many of my life experiences have prepared me to handle extreme circumstances in situations where I remain calm and rational. I believe that's a trait needed when making decisions that may have the potential for immediate negative reactions. I originally ran for council because of a feeling of conviction and a call of duty to help my tribe any way that I could. I wanted to contribute and influence our younger tribal members in a positive way, to make use of my experiences from what has put me on this pathway and helped me become successful. I want to help to motivate our members to stay self-sufficient, productive, while achieving the goals they have in their life. I am a strong advocate for our younger generation and all families. I truly believe that our children and our grandchildren are capable of excelling to great heights and have the potential to becoming the leaders of tomorrow. I have always been taught by my parents to help others when I can and to treat others how I would like to be treated. One of my goals would be to help in Economic Development Prevention Coalition and the wellness of elders to set up programs that may one day reach our members near and far. Another goal I would like to see is what we can do for our adult tribal members whom have become homeless and are struggling with addiction, and to create a program for recovery. In closing, I would like to say thank you for all the tribal members for this opportunity. And I vow to each of you that I will educate myself on the issues that come before the council and cast my votes based on valid information and review what the impact will be on each member. I will be committed to be a good steward of tribal resources, tribal council work hours, and tribal meetings. I think I heard Toby say that this is a lot of commitment and it's a lot of sacrifice. And I'm willing to make that commitment and make those sacrifices. I look forward to serving you on your tribal council, and I think the past and the present leadership has guided our tribe to many accomplishments over the past years that we all should be proud of. I appreciate your support and encouragement and look forward to meeting you and speaking with all of you. Please vote Suzanne Thomas during the November 4th tribal election. Thank you.
To the community, please accept my deepest sympathies and sincerest condolences in this time of sorrow. My name is Justina Santana. I'm running for a vacancy on the Tribal Council. I grew up in Hungry Valley, Nevada.
I'm an enrolled member of Reno-Sparks Indian Colony. I am the daughter of Shauna Johnson and non-member Todd Kirsten. I am the granddaughter of Oscar Johnson and granddaughter of Linda Johnson. I have 2 siblings, Lexi Johnson Kirsten and Blake Kirsten. I'm a proud aunt to 2 nieces, Addie and Kaija, and most recently my nephew Oliver. I have been married to my husband Miguel Santana for a little over 2 years. I am a dog mom to 2 huskies, Chai and Jedi. I have an Associate's of Science from Truckee Meadows Community College. I am pursuing a Bachelor Accelerated Master's degree at National University in Legal Studies currently. I am a civil servant to Washoe County, specifically at the District Attorney's Office. I have a background with law enforcement and office support. I work under District Attorney Christopher J. Hicks and work closely on all criminal cases. A little about my family history. I am the great-granddaughter of Katherine Johnson, who was on the election committee for several terms. My grandfather, Oscar Johnson, he was on tribal council for many terms himself, and this logo right here on the front, he is the creator of that. This in itself is proving my legacy here with the tribe. My mom and grandmother, Linda and Shauna, have both served on tribal council. I have a passion to serve my community and fulfill my legacy with the tribe. I have a few things that we should address as a community. Housing is few and far between for the younger generations, as well as the generations who have lost grandparents, parents, and who get the opportunity to move onto tribal lands. We need to add more rental properties, add more land assignments for those who want to build their own homes, or for the ones who are income capped and aren't able to afford, or who are able to afford to do so. Adding more homes to the community, adding more members to the community will bring a necessary need for more police. Having more police out and about while you're driving makes you feel a little safer. Bringing more people to the tribe creates more jobs, but in order to keep these people for the jobs, we need to get on Nevada PERS. We're a sovereign nation in Nevada. We need better retirement for our employees. I believe everyone deserves a safe and affordable place to live, as well as a safe job that you can rely on to retire from. I'd like our members to become doctors, attorneys, accountants, and so on. With that being said, I'm hoping to create more opportunities with education. Specifically, past your bachelor's degree or even trade school. Some people aren't meant for school, so if we can provide trainings to get people the necessary experience to become these high-ranking people within our community. I'm asking for your vote on Election Day. I promise to be a voice for all tribal members and to work hard to make our community a better place for everyone. Please make sure you get out there and vote on Election Day. Thank you for your time and consideration. Thank you to those who took the time to come out and be here today. Be safe driving home and look out for the horses.
Good evening. First and foremost, I'd like to extend my deepest condolences to the families who have lost loved ones recently. Our thoughts and prayers are with all of you. Fellow community members, my name is Elizabeth Dunn. Some of you know me as Lizzie or Liz. I'm the daughter of Jenny and Daryl Lowry, granddaughter of Viola and Nober Zuniga and Joanne Patty. I'm a mother of 4 and a soon-to-be grandmother of 1. I'm a lifelong resident of the Reno-Sparks Indian Colony, and I was born and raised on the Reno Colony and have lived in Hungry Valley for the past 20 years. I've also been employed with RSIC for over 20 years, starting in finance, then to housing, and recently back to finance as a general ledger accountant. I've enjoyed my time working with RSIC as it has allowed me to help my community, help the people, and to learn the basics of how the business runs. I am running for tribal council because I feel this time of change is a great opportunity to get involved. With the change in leadership and our current chairman retiring, this is a critical time for our people. We can embrace this change and make a stronger, brighter future for our community, our children, as well as our business endeavors. Although we are profitable in many areas, many aspects of our business practices could use some updating. Wouldn't it be nice to be able to pay your rent or water bill online, or to be able to log in and pull up your account information, print billing statements, submit work orders, etc.? The software used in many of our offices is outdated, and some things are even still done by hand. With the advances in today's technology, we could be staying up to date with the software and electronics instead of years behind. Also, the increase in drugs, alcohol, and violence in our community seems to be at an all-time high. We need more substance abuse programs, domestic violence awareness, and mental health services. We can't heal our community if we don't first heal ourselves. It is refreshing to see a new generation of people willing and ready to step up and learn. We have a responsibility to learn from past council members. There's still a lot they can teach us. I'm not here to make any promises, as I know I am just one person, and change happens only when we work together. Though I can promise that I will be fair, truthful, and open, I will take your concerns and listen, share, and work to create a community where everyone is heard. Again, I humbly ask for your consideration for tribal council, and I hope everyone casts their votes during this very important election. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Ruth Ann Sampson. Parents, Juanita, Pepe, late Pepe Sampson. My condolences to everybody who's lost loved ones this month, including my family. I want to start with the wellness and rehabilitations within the clinic. The prevention from drugs and alcohol in our community, which is a big problem. We all know that. Our own members are being overlooked and not a priority. If I'm elected, I want to redirect the money that is coming into the clinic is supposed to actually come into the colony instead of the clinic to take care of our own people, which it's not. That happened in a meeting in September. Our people are being left behind. We all know that, and they're not being helped. We need to get our well and traditional healing back. That's not being done. The traditional healing being turned down. We need to review the contracts that are coming through. Back in the meeting, the council approved a grant and they third-partied out. We're not supposed to do that. Why they approved it that way, that's a finding on the tribe. By doing that, that's showing the grantor that we're incompetent of actually taking care of our own grants by sending it out to a third party. You're not supposed to do that. If I'm elected, I would like to review all contracts because there's a way to get out of the contracts so the tribes can manage our own contracts and bring the money into our own so we're not in that bind. The tribe is losing out on a lot of money by third-partying out the contracts that shouldn't even be out there because we're not incompetent. No way. The council, with the new chairman, by doing that, our people should be getting, money in their own pockets every quarter. That's the way it should be. Because in the meeting, the chairman said that in January, we're gonna be self-sufficient. By him stating that, I hope it's true by the way that he says. When in September in the meeting, he said we have 1.6 million in leases. Where's the money? There should be more money that we have that should be for the people. There shouldn't be just 1.6 million in there. There should be a lot more money in there. Self-governing in January of 2024, I hope that comes true. So by him stating something like that, back in 2023, we gave the cannabis $7 million. Where's that money at? Where's the turnaround for that? We shouldn't be out that much money. Not only that, how are you going to open up another cannabis number 2 when you can't even sustain number 1? Why is that happening? There's a lot of things that need to be looked into. By having a strong council, there was once a strong council, all that stuff needs to be looked into. All that stuff needs to be looked into. Why are our people not having a return? Where's all the money? I've always asked that. Never got an answer. You know? Never got an answer for nothing. So, I mean, with the new council, with the new chairman, there should be some answers for all this stuff. You know, you, the people, as well as myself, we're on top. There's a chain of command. The people up here and then tribal council. Start asking questions because you're above us. I mean, not us, but we are above the tribal council, and I've always stated that. So when it comes to financials, you guys should be getting quarterly reports. Ask for them because you guys are the management, the CEOs of our tribe. So anytime, ask the tribal council that's sitting there. Don't be afraid. And they shouldn't be afraid to give you answers. So November 4th, guys, get out there and vote. It's important who you vote for. Don't be scared to vote. Because somebody doesn't like somebody, it's your own mind. Be strong and vote for who you think is going to be strong and vote for you. You as the people. And have their own mind to vote for. What they stand for. Not because they want to be a puppet. So come out and vote on November 4th. Thank you.
First of all, good evening, everybody. Come on, how you all the community. My name is Verna Nuno, and I am running for re-election to the Tribal Council. And I just would like to welcome all of you to this evening's Candidacy Night. It's great to see all of you here. Thank you all for coming out. I am honored to have served our community as a Tribal Council member, and I am ready to continue as a Tribal Council member for all of you. I have years of experience as a Tribal Council member, having served with two great leaders, Chairman Lawrence Astor and also Chairman Arlen Melendez. I have learned from the best how to be a leader with respect, honesty, and integrity in carrying out my duties as a Tribal Council member. During my years, I have served our community as the Tribal Council Secretary, Tribal Council Treasurer, and currently as the Vice Chairman. And I've served the Vice Chairman position for 8 years. One thing I would also like to remind everyone is that strengthening our programs and services provided by our Tribal Health Center to better serve our community is needed. As you've heard before, we need to address the alcohol and drug problem in our community. I think that problem has affected each and one of our lives, and it's something that we need to take care of as soon as we can. Council needs to always ensure better communication and transparency with our community members by holding meetings with our community to allow their input. Great ideas come to council from our community whenever we ask them and hold meetings with them. Strengthening our programs and services will also be one of the topics of discussion, along with how we can better serve all of you. As a member of the Comprehensive Plan Steering Committee, I have the opportunity to provide input on behalf of our council and community to review the community profile, land use alternatives, and housing, also transportation and public safety with our tribal police. Committee will draft goals, policies, and actions to be taken. To be a part of this committee is very important to me as a council member and a community member. One important housing development that we recently have with our tribal council and for our colony members is a positive outcome for our HUD grant application. We're going to be receiving funds in the amount of $4.4 million to build 22 manufactured homes, and we will have available 3 lots for our RSIC enrolled members to build their own homes, but that will have to be built with their own funding. I know a lot of our members are well over income when they apply for the housing and they are not eligible. The top score for the grant was 102 points, and the Reno-Sparks Indian Colony met that. We received 102 points for that grant. I have also served as a member on the different committees on the colony during my years. I have served on the Enrollment Committee, the Housing Board, the Reno-Sparks Tribal Health Board, the Enrollment Committee, the Law and Order Committee, the Veterans Committee on behalf of our community, and also on the Head Start Policy Council for years as a community council person and also as a parent and grandparent of children that were attending Head Start. Our Head Start program is very important to our little ones. They learn there a lot about how to be socializing. As a candidate for Tribal Council, I have years of experience to offer our community. I take my current position as Vice Chairman very seriously and have always dedicated my time and energy to be available to sit and to listen to community concerns. I also served our community as a notary public, and I'm sure I've notarized things for many of you sitting in this room. Most important for our community are our traditions and our spirituality. We learn from our elders and our spiritual leaders so we can teach our own little ones. I have also served our community on the National American Indian Housing Council at the federal level. Well, while I was serving on the National Indian Housing Council, we also created the Amaranth, which provides insurance to all of our Indian tribes throughout the United States. I was a representative for Region 7, which encompassed California, Nevada, and Arizona. Thank you for your consideration and vote, and remember to vote on Election Day. I will be very honored to serve all of you. Thank you so much.
Well, now that took a minute to off my time, I guess. But good evening, everybody. Now that I got a little practice last night and a new fancy jacket, I think I'm ready. First of all, I'd like to thank everybody that showed up here. I see a lot of familiar faces up front, at least, because I didn't bring my grandma glasses. I can't see y'all in the back of the room. But I would just like to say I'm stepping forward and seeking your vote to represent you as a new tribal council member for the 2023 tribal election. It is time I give back to the community and people that have been a part of my entire life, which means I grew up here, I was raised here, and I Grew up on the Reno Indian Colony on Reservation Road, and I currently reside here in Hungry Valley with my family, 4 daughters and 2 grandbabies. First, I feel like I need to address something tonight. And it came to my attention from one of our young ones, gentleman that was wanting to run for council, a seat. And it was brought to my attention because I had noticed that he walked in the room, but he didn't come and sit with us. So this is one thing I would like to address. So there was a challenge that was taken up against him. And I understand policies and procedures of the election committee and, what is required of you to run or to even put your name in. And because he was attending college in Arizona, graduated, he was in, back and forth to school between semesters and breaks, he still called this Reno RSIC his home. He had a permanent resident, and what did we do? He had vision, he had, enthusiasm, and he wanted to take us to a new place. We're all talking about this is a pivotal time for Reno-Sparks Indian Colony coming to a big time of change. The tribal chairman's been in here for years, Mr. Arlen Melendez, and we are turning him away, which we all know that we are used to in the community is being turned away. And how do I know? Because I am you. I've been turned away. My family members have turned away. Why? Why is this still happening in 2023? It's time for change. We are always quick to put up walls for our own people. What difference is it if someone is away at school, returns to their permanent address between semesters and breaks, then compared to somebody who works construction or road work or maybe even a traveling nurse? They still come back to their permanent RSIC address. It's time for change. We need a new process, fair for all tribal members. It is the responsibility of the leadership to make sure information is clear and understood through transparency and fairness. Again, put an end to biased treatment that leads to denial of services to tribal members. We tribal members deserve fair and equal treatment. I got 1 minute, guys, and I got a lot to talk about. We need to put aside our personal feelings or hatred towards each other or family members, different families, to make fair and impartial decisions, and that's what I'm going to bring to the table. There are a few issues, day-to-day operations that I see of department and programs. We need leadership to stop interfering with day-to-day operations. That's why we hire our managers and directors. Tribal court, tribal police, human resources. Since when did we elect tribal council to be the judge, jury, and executioner? Focus on the prosperity and well-being of our tribal members. Don't be quick to judgment. Be proactive, not proactive or reactive. Housing. We all know housing is a big factor. I myself, we're still living in multi-generational homes, including me and my family. I was born into a multi-generational home on the Reno colony. There was several of us, my mom and dad, my grandma and grandpa, all their families, brothers and sisters. Why is that still happening today? We need to build a new infrastructure where everybody is housed, including those that are living off the colony. Stop blinding us with the so-called housing list. Who knows what the housing list says? I don't. One day I was number 3, next day I was receiving a letter saying I no longer qualify, so my name's off the list. This stuff needs to stop. Am I done? Oh. Well, I would just like to ask for your vote in November. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. I'm going to talk tonight like an auctioneer so that I can finish my letter in 5 minutes. My name is Teresa Kaufman. I'm running for a seat on Tribal Council. I'm born and raised Wapashon Circle at the Reno Colony. My mother was Jeanette Wadsworth Kaufman. My grandparents were Elliot Wadsworth and Edna Wasson Wadsworth. I can tell you what my focus is and what I believe my purpose for running for council is, but in all reality, you have heard it before. You will hear it from every candidate running. But the reality is we all want the same thing: housing, education, health care, caring for our elders, financial stability, the future of our youth, better use of our programs to help our membership, and the list goes on. But none of these things can be carried out if you don't have a strong tribal council who are willing to work together in getting things to happen. We can sit and talk about these things over and over, which seems to be the general practice, but we all know the saying, actions speak louder than words. We do not need a tribal council that isn't willing to make the difference. The tribal council should be a coalition that is working together to carry out things for the membership, not a council who was separated, broken apart into cliques, and divided by dominance, because that is how it really is, divided, and the one voice does not get heard. We need to focus on our financial stability with a possible recession and the possibility of a government shutdown or a possible World War III. We need to prepare for the hardships we may be facing, not only as a tribe, but as Americans. We need to increase the dollar amount of our yearly crisis relief fund for each tribal member. We need to pay more attention to our economic development and be transparent with our membership regarding our process and planning and the receiving, for example, the tribal dispensary. Where are we as far as projections? Are we on the plus side or the negative? Are we behind schedule or ahead? Have we given more than we have received? These are things that should be transparent to the membership. We need to be a full force about the boundaries and borders of our community, especially the colony, so that we are not pushed out of our little community and that we have been holding down for years. We can't be giving away what little that we hold to the outside community, such as the freeway, to be good neighbors. We need to plan and make generating revenue from our undeveloped land, like the 6 acres behind Walmart, or the land surrounding Smoke Shop 6 in Spanish Springs, and the land in Verdi. We need to take pride in our community and make improvements, even if they are small. For example, our apartment complex. What happened to the landscaping and the lawn? The drug problem throughout our community. Bring back the drug elimination task force program. A coalition between our key departments to case individuals and expand resources to help them. For example, tribal police, tribal court, human services, education, behavioral health, 477 program, have a roundtable discussion, provide workshops, trainings, community outreach, open the transitional living center and the elders care facility. We, the Reno-Sparks Indian Colony, can be the best in every aspect if we have the right tribal council and the right leadership with the focus to get things moving, getting things accomplished, to get the department managers motivated to having the best programs, the best employees, giving the absolute best services, not the mediocre services given today. I keep hearing this election is a popularity contest, and I hope that is not to be true. I hope the membership chooses wisely. Choose the candidates who are willing to suppress the cliques and encourage working hand in hand no matter what it costs them. We really need a tribal council that is ready to tackle progress, to provide ultimate fairness, who is not afraid to speak, who was ethical, respectful, humble, and most importantly, who is for the betterment of all of our membership. And I'd like to wish everybody good luck, the candidates here tonight, and thank you all for coming.
As you all know, the Hungry Valley candidate tonight was scheduled for Monday night, but unfortunately that was rescheduled. So I'd like to take this time to send our thoughts and prayers of strength to the families that had lost a family member the last couple of weeks. So public speaking is really hard. For myself, I know when I was going through college, I always tell people that, public speaking, writing, and reading are like the three hardest things that I hated going through school. And then when I got into the Reno-Sparks and calling, those are literally the three things that I do. So I'd like to applaud everybody coming up here and just giving the strength and doing your speeches in front of everybody, not only last night, but tonight as well. So I'd like to thank you for participating in this evening's event and vocalizing your concerns and ideas. Tonight's presentation depicts your vision as leaders and provides valuable information to your constituents as they decide on who they're going to elect on election day. One must give credit where credit is due. So please applaud each and every candidate for joining us this evening and having the courage to talk in front of an audience and express their concerns and ideas. As a reminder, voting polls will be open on Saturday, November 4th from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. So please check the voters list to ensure that your name is on it. Lastly, there will be a logic and accuracy testing on Friday, November 3rd at 6 p.m. at 34 Reservation Road, the multi-purpose room. You are invited to witness the ballot counting machines sealed and taken by the RSIC Tribal Police to a secured location until elections. This concludes the candidates' night, and remember that the candidates are available for a meet and greet hereafter. Thank you.